Welcome to this EvalIndigenous Voice project. I'm going to interview you on your experiences, achievements, and challenges in the evaluation sector in your country, and then obtain your views on the directions that evaluation is taking, your future, and that of other young evaluators in Africa. My name is John Njovu. I'm the coordinator for the EvalIndigenous Voice project. What is your name?
My name is Solomon Gitau. I'm a young evaluator, the leader of the young evaluator at the Monitoring and Evaluation Professional Association of Kenya.
Are you working for any other organization?
I do work for Kirigasa Solution Limited, which is a consulting firm for evaluation, where I'm the project manager and also the managing director.
Which ethnic group do you belong to?
The Gikuyu community.
And in Kenya or in Africa, do you have any other affiliation in evaluation?
Yeah, we have an affiliation with AFREA, and also we have a working partnership with the SAMEA, that is South Africa Monitoring and Evaluation Association.
What does indigenous mean to you?
Myself, in regard to indigenous evaluation, I refer in two ways. The first one is the traditional way of how evaluation was being conducted, and the second way, conducting evaluation to an indigenous community and the way how they used to do their things. How do they do their things?
And by calling you yourself indigenous, how do you define that term? Because you are close to the land, why do you call yourself indigenous?
In regard to why I call myself indigenous, one way, when you get back to where we come from, for example, the Kikuyu community is big, and in each region they have their own way of doing things. So they have their traditional way of evaluating their things. How do they conduct their things? You see, that's why I may refer myself an indigenous person.
So I might say in your Kikuyu ethnic group, there are indigenous ways of doing the evaluation.
Yes, yes.
May you briefly explain to us about the experience you've had in evaluation?
In terms of indigenous evaluation, I can say it's okay. Through the normal evaluation process, you can be able to achieve your goal, specifically when it comes to data correction. Now, the only challenge we find when we are doing an evaluation to these communities is the perception of the people. You see, times has changed, and with the introduction of Christianity, maybe we might say currently we don't allow FGM, that is female gender mutilation, but maybe the community, they refer them as a normal way of life. So when you go to interview or to collect data from such a community, maybe if you are a young lady, you go with a numerator who is a young lady, might not be received well to the old male in that community, where you can be able to get some kind of focus discussion with those people. And also they feel, this community, sometimes they feel like when you go to collect such information from them, it's as if you are exposing them. So that is the only challenge when it comes to getting data from the source.
So your age also matters when you go into these villages. The elders might not want to talk to you.
Yeah, age matters. You have to make sure you have a person who in that community you will engage into the data collection, so that those people, it is the person who is accepted to the people.
So also you were talking of a young female. So in our villages, the male community is not looking favorably on women coming to interview them. So
they also look like something like dressing code. You see, they don't receive well for maybe a lady who goes to interview them or visit their community in trousers. They believe women should have a skirt or dress, such things. Dressing code also matters.
You are coming from an urban area where it's common for women to put on pairs of jeans or trousers, and then when they go to rural areas, they might not be well received.
Even where they might be, maybe they are exposing their body. It is not well received to this, and especially knowing well that it is the old people who has got most of the information. That's when we are doing the focus group. We must have a focus group for the elderly, that is men, and the female.
Separately. Okay. Here we have a culture of our women wearing chitenges in public. Do you have that in Kenya?
I can say it is there, though now it has shifted that maybe when you talk to some of these communities, maybe they are more exposed to what we can make a civilization. So they have now don't wear the cultural clothes always. They do it as per occasions.
In your experience of evaluation, who requested it? Why was it carried out? Who was involved? And how was it done? And who was it for?
So the evaluation that I did recent was requested by the institution where I was doing my certificate in monitoring evaluation. So I engaged myself to do a paper which is based on the local people. So I do my write-up and presented to the examiner for assessment, and then it was accepted. Then I went to the ground and interacted with some members of the community. Specifically, myself, I can say it was a bit biased because I'm a surveyor, that is hard surveying and mapping. So I wanted to bring on board an incoming, we have a technology. There is a technology known as GIS and remote sensing, which allow you to have allocation to geotag questionnaire. So I was intending to go and collect data. Maybe when they say this community and this community, they don't interact well for a reason like someone got harmed because of a kind of conflict with the community. Where did that thing happen? I want specifically to locate that in terms of a GPS location. So I had to do a questionnaire that focused on, had to do quick location. The other thing was now having the focus group discussion now with the elderly men in the community and the elderly women in the community. These people hold some crucial information about how they used to do their activity in a traditional way. And then we have to also to look at another thing into the young people, the youth, now from the city, from the urban areas. If maybe there was a conflict between two villages, and if I can say maybe where I come from, it's a village originating from a single person, then it is spread to cover the whole village. It is like a ridge. It is in between valleys. That is the central highland, the terrain of the central highland. So there was a conflict, and maybe someone got injured and maybe died. So something was done, a cultural activity was done to make sure the two community won't interact favorably. Maybe they won't marry among each other. Now that was done, and if you go against that, something will happen to you. Now, how do people from the urban areas who are born in the urban areas, talking of them as Christians, who does not follow what our forefathers used to do, what repercussions comes when you do that, and how do they perceive those activities? So that was my main interest into that. Though the project did not add up to completion because I did not complete the course.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I did.
Sorry about that.
Yes.
Are there indigenous evaluation practices in your ethnic group?
Yes, we have indigenous evaluation practices in my community.
In your community, who makes the decision that we should have an evaluation, and what is the process like in the whole community on who should carry out the evaluation and how it should be done?
From experience, most of these evaluation, they are initiated by someone. It's either through a consultancy or a sub-consultancy. So I can say it's always guided by the client, the person who have initiated or funded the evaluation. Because unless you do the agreement, the term of reference, you can't proceed. So I can generally say it is the client in collaboration with the consultant, the person who is doing that is the team leader on the consultant side will guide the project.
Now, from the indigenous community side, what is the involvement in the whole evaluation process?
I can say the involvement is limited to the TOR. That is in terms of the people you are going to interview, whether it is the individual respondents questionnaire or the focus group or questionnaire or the key informant. It is always limited to the TOR. If you use the name of a person and the CV of a person, everything is limited to the TOR.